Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. All right, what is going on, everyone? How's everyone doing on this Friday? Welcome to another episode of Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and Nick Westbrooks. And this show is brought to you by the DJ the Money Coach team and the 7 Spheres of Money Systems. And before we get started, hit that like button, share with at least 5 people. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you can help us spread the message of the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement, which is plenty of money, peace of mind. And we invite you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club, not just here on Fridays, but 365, 7 days a week. And the Pom Pom Lifestyle is plenty of money and peace of mind, and the movement cannot be stopped. So happy Friday to everyone, TGIF. You know, we are into the full swing of the first month of 2025. You know, hopefully you all have recovered from the New Year's festivities and you hit the ground running, you know, working towards your goals for 2025. So DJ, how you feeling on this Friday?
Hey, man, I feel great, man. Like I say, Nick, always, any day above ground with your health is a great day to be alive. Today is no exception to the rule. It's the 10th day of 2025. But before we get into the show, we want to first and foremost send out our prayers and our condolences to everybody out on the West Coast with all the wildfires. We pray that you are out of harm's way. We hope that those who have lost homes and loved ones, you can be supported, encouraged, and that your insurance policies don't try to short you on the reason why you have insurance. It's unfortunate that we have these catastrophic events that happen unexpectedly in our world today, and we just want to let people know that our prayers and our condolences and our support go out to everyone out in the LA and LA County area, Pacific Palisades and Pacific Verdes and all of those places as well. So with that said, hey, man, we're going to make this just like last week. We'll make this a quick show. It is that time of the year where it's bowl game, championships, rocking and rolling. And one thing I want to express to everybody is that, hey, man, it's the 10th day of the year. And sometimes people get off to a great start. Sometimes people get off to a bad start. Sometimes it's just status quo. So what I would encourage you to do is to first and foremost take out a pen and a paper and write all the good things down that have happened in your life. The tangibles, which means the physical things that you can actually see, touch, and feel. And then most importantly, look at the intangibles. These are the things that you can't see, touch, and feel, but you can feel spiritually, and you can feel, mentally to be grateful for. Because I think one of the things that we do in America specifically is that we are quick to, be ungrateful for the basic things in life. What do I mean? If you have your health, that's a great thing to be grateful and excited about, no matter what your situation is. If you have great health and you have bad finances, guess what? The bad finances can be overcome. The bad health, or just like we have out in the West Coast, if you lost a home, a lot of times that may be almost impossible to overcome. It could be debilitating. So why don't you take a list and write down all the things that God blessed you with, tangibly and intangibly, over 2024 and what you have right now today on the 10th day of January of 2025, because you will be surprised that a lot of times the things we take for granted are actually blessings. And maybe your fellow man, your fellow woman, your next door neighbor, your peer may not even have. So take those things down and journal what they mean to you and how they make you feel. And then from that standpoint, here's what I would ask you to do from an economic standpoint. Bring all your chips on the table. What do I mean? Look at your bank accounts, checking, savings, emergency fund, Roth IRA, 401k, annuities. Add all those things up and see what they amount to. And then add up all the things that are expenses and reoccurring expenses and see where you stand, and just say to yourself, hey, if I never worked another day, how long could I move forward if I just had to sit still and be quiet for a period of time? Be it one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter, 1 summer, or 1 year, and see where you stack up. Because when you evaluate it that way, you might find out you're a lot better off than where you think you are not. Okay? And once you do that, you'll get a better appreciation for the life that you've been bestowed and you've been blessed with. Because right now, obviously on the West Coast, there's people who are having, actual tragic scenarios and catastrophic events that were unexpected a day ago, 2 days ago. And another thing is, we're really starting to see how inadequate government is. And this is also important to understand. When you give up your freedoms, which are, physically manifested through your vote or your non-vote or the person you chose, here's how these people are coming at you. So maybe you should reevaluate how quickly that you vote locally, because what's happening right now on the West Coast on the government side is a local challenge. Mayor of Los Angeles steps to the mic, says nothing, literally says nothing. However, cut the local budget by $20 million in areas that pertain to firefighters, local, what they call them, emergency responders. But you flip that coin and their governor set forth $20 billion or something like that to homeless immigrants. And these are non-documented. So look how that's working. You empowered those people. So one thing you should do now is you should think twice about who you're giving your vote to, because when you need it, and he stepped up and said, hey, figure it out. That's what Newsom said. Got on camera. Hey, figure it out. But you know what? My man just bought a $13 million house. How did he do that? Does he run a $100 million, $200 million business? Last time I checked, Gavin Newsom been in politics since 1997. How do I know? Because I was living out in Frisco, 97, 98. And Gavin was first on the scene running for mayor of San Francisco. That's when I first came across this, character. So if I do the math right, that's 27, going on 28 years, his business is politics. So how can he afford a $13 million house? But he can tell you with the wildfires, which are uncharacteristic because it's wintertime. The way these fires are spreading and everything in the wintertime, how is it dry in the wintertime? How is it embers and stuff are blown around and strategically starting in areas and burning them to the ground. But the mayor of Los Angeles, a woman, I think she's a black woman. I don't know. She looks like she's black or she's something of that nature. She literally, guys, asking her 3-4 very important questions, and she just stands there, says nothing. And then Newsom, he says, hey, you figured out. I'm moving into my $13 million palatial property. You figured out. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, here's what you got to understand. Nobody in politics cares about you or me. They get into politics nowadays to become wealthy and to take away your freedoms. And when you need them the most, like we need right now, they do this. But they don't do that on their own personal property and their personal responsibility because they covered because your dollars and your vote is giving them financial wealth and financial security. And that's a sad state of affairs, man. It's amazing. So by being this the 10th day of the new year, with great health, a plan, having the ability to look at where you are financially, mentally, stable-wise or not, you can get perspective and you can start moving forward by starting your day with a one-day goal. Like I said last week, we don't subscribe to resolutions. We subscribe to goals. So take a one-day goal and let's say, hey, I need to make an extra $1,000 a month. Take inventory of your skill sets. Take inventory of your talents. Take inventory of what you like to do. And figure out how you can actually do that. And how you can do that is by doing this. Figure out how you can help somebody. And if you figure out how you can help them and you match those up with your skill sets, you probably, most likely, can increase your income by that potential extra $1,000 a month. And then ask yourself, okay, if it's $1,000 a month, what does that translate to, per week? Okay. There's 4.3 weeks in a month, in a month. So let's just say, drop it and say 4. That's $250 a week, 7 days in a week. What does that come out to per day? That's probably about $35 a day. How do I make $35 extra per day? And then just give yourself a goal, put that up on the window, on the door, and see how you can, achieve that goal. And then you'll see it really isn't that hard and you can accomplish it. And I know what you're saying probably right now. Hey, DJ, how about you give us some tools or some services that we can generate that money? That will be a great question. But here's the thing though. A lot of people are doing things that they don't like doing so that they can make money. And a lot of times when you recommend certain types of opportunities, businesses, skill sets to people, unfortunately, sometimes they just don't listen. So what I'm subscribing to now is, how about you figure out what you like doing or what you wouldn't mind doing to make that money, do a little research, and then figure out if this is something that I'm willing to commit some time, some effort to generate. Because I can tell you a whole bevy of different types of things to try. The question is, are you going to invest the time, the money to do it in order to make the money? And when you start making the money, are you going to continue to make it if it's not something you really like doing? And one of the downsides of being an American, we don't realize that we're so spoiled in our, station in life. And when I'm saying that, I'm speaking to your average middle-class American who, if you lived, in a third world country or a second world country where they literally have to figure out where they can get food because they don't have government assistance, you would do things a lot differently than you do here, because we have a lot of programs that enable us to get up and have income and resources without doing any services. So we take those things for granted. And the government continues to try to debilitate us and make us become that. So now we become, rendered useless. And in situations that have transpired in terms of these, wildfires, we don't have the proper firefighters to fight because they forced them out of the departments because they told them they had to get vaccinated. And then they cut the budget, and you end up having thousands of hardworking firefighters lose their jobs, but now we need them. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is to figure out, again, what are your talents, what skills you have or what skills you need, and how you can develop, an extra $35 a day. And you may need an extra $5,000 a month. You may need an extra $10,000 a month. But I also would challenge you to look at, your reoccurring expenses of what you need in terms of, if you are in the Midwest, the East Coast, and it's typical winter weather and the temperatures hover between 40 degrees down to 10 degrees, guess what you're going to need? Heat, electricity, gas. And you ask yourself this question: if you're a person work, outside of your home, which majority of us do you need to heat your home the entire time you're not at home? So let's say you get up, like I know most people that are clients, that they get up like 6 a.m. in the morning. They're out the door by 7. And then they don't get back home to 6 p.m. But I also know those same people have their house thermostat on 75, 80 degrees the whole time they're not home, because I got to come home to a warm house. However, if you're living in a pretty modern house, you can set the thermostat to come on an hour before you get home and to shut off, 30 minutes before you leave, and there's nothing going to be wrong with your home. But if you look at the economics behind it, let's say you're paying 20 cents a kilowatt. Or maybe you're fortunate and you got a real super deal and you're paying 10 cents a kilowatt. Okay? So let's say you've given up from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. How many hours is that? So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 10. So that's 13 hours a day. You're running the heat in your house and you're not there. That's probably in turn about 500 to 1,000 kilowatts a month. And if you're paying 20 cents a kilowatt, that's $200. If you're paying 10 cents, that's $100. Now, before things got a little tight, hey man, no big deal paying an extra $200 a month on my electricity bill. But when things get tight, every dollar, every kilowatt counts. So if you get a little bit smarter in those areas and realize that the energy companies are not your friends, and why give them free money? Because if you heat your house an hour before you get there, it's going to be just as warm as it would be if you had it heated the whole time you were not there. And that adds up. Okay? Let's say as well, you're driving your car and you want to have the lowest deductible on your car, but you haven't filed a claim or had a ticket in 5-7 years. But you have the $50 deductible, but that's making your premium an extra $50 a month. extra $600 a year. You haven't had a ticket or a claim in 5 years. You're just giving the auto insurance company $3,000. That's $3,000 you could have put in your emergency fund, your savings account, your Roth IRA, paid off that credit card. In addition to that $2,400 that you gave them extra to the utility company. So now, over that 5-year period of time, you're giving them collectively about $12,000, $13,000 of your hard-earned money. And soon as you file a claim, they're going to try to beat you down and give you nothing in return. And they're going to use the strategy of fear. If this happens and you don't have this, but probability says that these situations like the wildfires very rarely happen. And when they do, they're going to try to undermine you or underestimate your losses. When you could have taken that $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 and had a 7% return and made that $26,000 over that same period of time. So these are some of the things that when you start looking at where you are and you may be not motivated or you may be beating yourself up, don't beat yourself up. Here's another thing. As I said last week, stop watching all these shows with these people on these platforms that are projecting success that a lot of times these people are nowhere near as successful as they project. And if they are, and you're too busy watching them vicariously, you should be working on your own plan, your own dream, your own goal. And a lot of times we don't do that. And when we don't do that, we subconsciously are looking at these people's success, and then we start beating up ourselves. And what we don't realize is that everybody's human, and everybody has a down day, a down week, and a down month. Nobody is winning 24/7, 365. You have to understand that. And conversely, when you are at the top of the mountain, have some humility. Be down to earth, because you're not always going to be, knocking it out the park. And perhaps maybe be kinder, gentler, and more helpful to people who have less, that need a hand up when you are in a position where you're winning extraordinarily. That's one of the things that's going to help you start thriving in 2025. Because right now, all you're looking at in today's economy is opportunities that are there that you couldn't see while people are trying to figure it out. You should understand there are services and products that are needed that if you invest properly, your time, your discipline, your education, you can solve those, challenges and turn them into solutions. And those solutions turns into, revenue, and revenue minus, expenses. If it's the good solid revenue, produces profit, and you can be on the upside of the equation. And that's very important. And I think one of the things that we have to start focusing on to thrive in 2025 is once we take that personal inventory and take account for the things that we did right and take account for the things that we need to learn from, and we start to, tap back in to some humility and some hard work and institute the 4x4, which is, number 1, discipline. Number 2, accountability. Number 3, plug into a proven system of success. And number 4, go to work and not thinking things in terms of nanoseconds or microseconds. Think of them in reality of these things take 1 year of learning and investing in yourself. The second year, building experience by application of doing the right things over and over. And then the third year, you become the expert and you become the establishment so that you can continue to produce reoccurring revenues and reoccurring profits. And then the second thing is when you combine that with the 4 P's of success: professionalism, persistence, perseverance, and performance, you will have solved the puzzle for success and thriving in 2025. And the people that you see that are doing that, they actually are benefiting and winning today in 2025 for the plans they put in place and the work they put in place in 2020. And the key and operative word here that garners that success is consistency. Consistency. And that means that doing the mundane, boring things that we don't get excited about when nobody's looking, that what produces consistent success. So having little small goals, getting out of the bed, like I said last week, first goal is make up the bed. That's a win. Because if I make up the bed, I feel good about looking at my bed nicely well made with the pillows and the comforter, and I got the blinds open so the sunshine can come in because I got a great view. Now I'm encouraged and I automatically lean over and I pick up, my smartphone and I see the goals for today. First thing first, let me, read the daily word. So obviously today I read Proverbs 10. Takes me about 5 minutes because I'm not rushing through it. I'm letting it seep in and I'm listening to the words so I can be fulfilled by the words. And after I read, I then immediately drop to my knees and I do a sincere prayer. So once I do that sincere prayer, having read, it's seeping in. And first thing is I'm asking, for salvation. I'm asking for grace. I'm thanking for what has been given to me, the intangibles primarily, and then the tangibles. And then I'm asking to be a blessing in people's lives that I come in contact with. And then I'm asking for wisdom and understanding. So now that I've, have deeply downloaded the words and the prayers together, I'm inspired. My bed is made. I feel good. Now I engage in my regular routine. Now I work out. I get my 15 minutes of what I call 15 minutes of hell of doing maxed out, good, strong calisthenics workout. And I hit it hard. I put my timer on 15 minutes and I go get it. Now, once I go get it, I feel empowered physically. Now that I feel empowered physically, that's another what? Accomplishment. So just think about it. Once I wake up, and I may not want to just hop out of that bed because I wasn't but I didn't want to let myself down. I made that bed. That's one victory to thrive. I read that word of the day. That's 2 victories to thrive. I then gave, God thanks for allowing me to wake up, allowing me to still read and comprehend. So I gave praise to God. That's a 3rd victory to thrive. And now I put in the physical work of thriving. I worked out the temple. So I put the spiritual, I got to the physical, and now the next thing is I feed the temple. You see what I'm saying? I feed the temple. So now I sit down to the breakfast table and I whip myself up a sharp, healthy breakfast, high in protein. Give me some, super, carbohydrates in there so I can burn some fuel. Once I do that, boom, that's another victory. So how many victories that I have towards thriving to get my day off to start? Boom, got up, made up the bed. Boom, read the word of the day. Boom, prayed. Boom, worked out. Boom, ate. I got 5 victories before I start the business day, the school day, the work day. So now I can run up here to my office, boom, make the calls, do the assignment, check those off. And these metrics, albeit if I didn't sell a course today, if I didn't get a speaking engagement today, I didn't get someone to get a trip today, I did everything that I can control to garner the material outcome that I desire, because the first thing I did is discipline myself. The second thing I did, I was accountable to the system that I work within. And I did the work. So if I had, for me, my goal is to make a minimum of $1,000 a day. But for us to be doing really well, we need to make $3,000 a day. So if I put all that work in, I made my calls, I sent my emails, I did my DMs to hit up people to do collaborations with, and I sold nothing, but I was consistent. Guess what? Albeit I may be disappointed, but I still feel great about myself because I put the work in. So now when I see an email run across and boom, my CRM says, boom, we just made $2,900. I get excited because I know I contributed to that because I did my regular routine. I plugged into the 4x4. I was disciplined. Who likes working out? Yep. And today it's a lifestyle that people, probably about 20% of the people, love working out. I'm not a love to work out guy. I work out because it's a requirement. But the irony of it is, I was a great athlete. So a lot of that stuff came easy, but it's not easy now. But however, I got up and disciplined myself. I show accountability because what I do as a team, we have a little thread that we put together, and 3 or 4 or 5 of us, I forget how many numbers, we hit each other with what we did in our routine in terms of our reading, our prayer, our workout, and our eat. We call it the health thread. So now I did that. Now I'm not surprised that if I wasn't the one that impacted that $2,900 sale, I contributed to it because I set a standard that can be duplicated and held accountable because I'm doing what I said I'm doing. Thus, the team can do what they're supposed to do. You see how that works? So now, when I do get a physical sale, now the team can see, oh man, that's contributing. They may have had a slow day, and that person that did the $2,900 sale today, we win together. So now, in our 10 days of the month, okay, today we did 20, so man, we hit the 3X. The day before, we hit the 1X. The day before that, we hit 0X. But we did one thing consistent every day. We knocked down the 4x4. Discipline. Accountability. Plugged into the system. And if you don't have a system, you can use our system or find a system that you can be held accountable to. Because here's the thing. Again, when you set resolutions, those are temporary because you're trying to get quick results. And here's the biggest challenge with a resolution. You have these audacious resolutions that soon as that one day you're not able to do a 2-hour workout or read for 2 hours, the next thing you do is say, man, that's just too much. But if you have a goal, hey man, let me do 15-minute reading today. Let me do a 15-minute workout today. Instead of, making, this elaborate breakfast, how about I just have a couple of strips of bacon, a bowl of, oatmeal, a water, and a smoothie. But if you roll out and you have bacon, eggs, pancakes, smoothie, coffee, tea, man, you feeling like a king or queen. And it took all that time to build it up and make it. And then one day you're going to work so hard, or you're going to be so tired, or you're going to be just not connected, and you're not going to have the energy to make all of that. So know what you're going to do? You're not going to make anything. So you're going to skip that meal. And then when you don't have the time to read 2 hours or do that hour and a half workout before work or after work, you're not going to do anything at all. But if you have these little small goals, you will find the capacity and, most importantly, the motivation to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Make up that bed. Because how long does it take for you to make up the bed? 2-3 minutes? Let's call it 5 minutes. Because, when you wake up, especially if it's wintertime, it might be a little cold, but you might be that person, you got your heat on, 80 degrees, and you wake up nice, but you may be so relaxed that you want that second, sleep. You know that one I'm talking about, man. You wake up, then you get that second one that really, but you ain't coming back, then you don't want to work, so you get that itis. You get that sleep-itis. So, but the message here is real simple. Don't beat yourself up. Have small, obtainable goals. Reinforce those goals with small, attainable habits. And you will yield long-term, sustainable success. And now, instead of you living vicariously through somebody else, 10th day of January, you move forward doing the small goals, implementing the 4x4, which again, the discipline. And how do I discipline myself? Because the day before, I just gave myself some quick notes. Okay, hey, on January 9th, I just text myself and said, hey, how about you make sure you read Proverbs 10, you pray, you make up your bed, you do your 15-minute workout, you eat, and then you go to work. And I look up the time that I set my clock to get up, my alarm goes off, or I wake up naturally, and immediately that hops up, boom. Make sure you read the prayer of the day. Make sure you make up the bed. So I check those off mentally, and I'm getting excited. So now I'm starting to plug in. Now I'm getting that momentum. So it's a thing that they call personal momentum versus group momentum. Personal momentum is the hardest because it requires you to do the things that sometimes you don't want to do. But when you do it consistently, day over day, week over week, month over month, it now becomes infectious. And then your team starts to do it. And then you get this group momentum. And then you create serendipitous success. Well, now you're sitting up watching a game, talking to some friends, and you get a call from a buddy that you met 2 years ago in one of the, lounges at the airport, and y'all exchange cards, and you told him about what you do, he shared what you do, and he calls up and says, hey man, let me get a package to Zanzibar. And he drops a couple of grand with you. You had no control over that, but you did have control over it in the intangibles because one, you were a master of communication. You connected with them, you formed them. So let's put that up, Nick. So now this is how it ties in. You say, hey, DJ, you're telling me learn how to make an extra $1,000 a month and break that down to an extra $250 a week, but break that down to an extra $35 a day. But I didn't tell you exactly what industry or what skill or what product or what service. But now I'm pulling this all together and I'm showing you how we benefit for serendipitous situations, because now I mastered a skill called FORM, F-O-R-M. So I engaged this sharp business professional and his wife at the VIP lounge in the airport on my way to Zanzibar, as he was on his way from Frisco to LA in July or June of 2023. And we just built a relationship. I saw he was sharp. I said, hello, man, where you headed to? We're having a good time in the lounge. We talk I said, man, who is that sharp professional lady sitting beside you? Oh, that's my beloved wife. They're sitting with two other people. Hey, who are those people? Boom. I said, hey, I'm DJ. Go by DJ the Money Coach. And it's an international lounge. I said, so I'm on my way to Zanzibar. Where are you on your way to? Oh, I'm coming from here from a vacation, but heading home. Family. Then, oh man, that's awesome. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a high-end business consultant. Occupation. My wife is an entrepreneur, has her own business, opening up a restaurant. Oh man, congratulations. Where'd you take your vacation at? Oh, we went from so-and-so we coming from. Man, the four of us took a group trip together. Man, that's awesome. Have you ever been to Zanzibar? No, but it's on my bucket list trip. Man, building a resort. Message. You know what? We're not just building a resort, but we're actually helping the people there. Irrigation systems, education systems. What about you? What's your message, your philanthropy, or how do you like making the money that you make? So I'm taking mental notes, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm also taking the notes and exchanging information. So we exchange business numbers and we just correspond back and forth for 2 years, getting to know each other a little bit better. Anytime we're in each other, hey, what's happening, Will? Boom, man. Yeah, wait. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, fast forward, because I'm doing those little itty bitty things. I'm getting up. I'm showing discipline. I'm showing accountability. I'm working my system. I'm doing the work. And I formed a high-end professional. And I'm keeping the team accountable because I'm doing the little things. And now, during the process, hey, man, I'm going to celebrate my 45th birthday. And I'm going to celebrate my son's 18th birthday. And we want to do it in Zanzibar, in Tanzania. So now, I got that goal up. Need to make $1,000 a day minimum, but our goal is $3,000. You do the math, 3,000 times 30, round it up, call it 90 to 100 grand a month. Worst case scenario, 30 grand. Now that sale comes in. This sale comes in. I'm making my calls, but those calls don't land any fruit, but I'm making my calls. I'm sending out my emails. I'm following up with the team. We're doing our evaluations. Now, another team member produces. Now, I get on the horn with our president in Zanzibar, and he says, hey, you know what? We just leased out one of the brand new units for a whole month. Man, we just made another $2,000. Hey, you know what? We just leased out a suite at $200, a day for a month. Boom. we just made another $4,000 or $5,000. You see? So each teammate, because we have an accountability, because we practice the 4 P's: professionalism, persistence, perseverance, performance, and we do the accountable health check, we are now, when one seems to be accomplishing a lot and one seems to be accomplishing just a little, we are winning collectively together. And that goal of $1,000 a day, that's a team goal. So now you can get excited that you did a little bit of work every day. And that little bitty work every day, it compounds if and only if you are consistent. That is the key thing. And let me tell you this. You're going to have a down day. You're going to have a day when you doubt yourself. We all do. I've had 2-3 of those days in the past 3-4 weeks. I'm human. You know what? When the weather changes and starts to become dreary, even if I had a great day, I don't like dreary weather anymore. So albeit born and raised in Chi-Town, used to treat it like a badge of honor that I could make it through a snowstorm, make it through the windy city. But you know what? I'm not 15, 20, 30 years old anymore, and I don't have no badge of honor to prove that I can make it through a snowstorm or a brisk, overnight 15 degrees below zero. No, thank you. So now that I have been living, on a half of the year basis in a warm climate, that the average temperature on a daily basis all year round is about 72 degrees. Brother man, I'm kind of accustomed to 72 degrees. And typically this time of year, man, just like on my birthday, it was 79 degrees. I'm used to that. So when all of a sudden the weather changed adversely, it just naturally makes me feel a little down. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that. So you know what I do? I get on the phone and I talk to somebody that I can say, hey, I'm not crying Argentina, but man, it's a little cold outside. There's no sun out today. I'm not as motivated to go get it. Can I just, let off a little steam with you? Yeah. But you know what you can't do? You can't do that all the time. But so my point is, a lot of times on these platforms, the people that you see and you admire and you put them up on this, pedestal, which you should never do, they never show you that they have down moments, downtime. They struggle sincerely. They all, man, I'm always on top of my game. I'm always full of sunshine. Everything's bright and everything. Man, that ain't real, man. So I'm telling you, by the words out of my mouth to the sound in your ear, if you are a person that is finding yourself feeling down and consistently, don't beat yourself up. First things first, pick up the phone. Dial a friend. Dial a family member. If you had massive goals and you're a go-getter and it just didn't happen, but you were consistently putting the work in, and you can look in the mirror and you can use the 11th commandment, thou shalt not jive thyself. And you did put the work in, day out consistently, and you didn't see the physical manifestation of the product. If you keep staying consistent, you have put the work in and God's going to pay you. And sometimes you just need to get on the other end of the phone and say, Nick, I put that work in, man. That weather just changed adversely. I ain't feeling it today. I'm about to go into this pity party. And then Nick's going to say, hey, man, let me have permission to tell you something you need to hear. Operative word. Let me have permission. Don't just bombard your friend or your family or your peer with advice if they don't ask you for it. Conversely, if you're the person that's having a down moment or a non-productive moment, don't hop on the phone and treat them like a trash can. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, as soon as you get on the horn, blah, 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 all negative, and that person ain't even prepared for it. So now you got to show some decorum and etiquette. Say, hey, Nick, hey, man, can I yell at you for a minute? I just ain't feeling it today. You got a moment? I could just yell at you. Nick may say, no, don't take it personal. Because guess what? I know Nick's a school teacher. I know Nick's got a bunch of adolescents and teenagers, got all kind of hormones and stuff running, and he can't handle all that at one time. So I got to say, hey, man, I know you can hear me out, but is this a good time? And if he says no, don't take it personal. But if he does say yes, hey, man, slide into it and know when to cut it off. But don't just bombard him. Yo, man, blah, 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 blah. And then conversely, if Nick came back to me and said, hey, DJ, man, can I share something with you? Yeah, man. Hey, man, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. And I hope you can receive this in the right way, DJ. Okay, he's saying, hey, he's about to share something with you, some insight. Hey, man, you might sound like, and I know this ain't the way you're coming across, but you might sound like you're beating yourself up, and you might sound like you're complaining a little bit, but I know that's not what you're doing, so don't take it this way. But I just want to give you some insights to that, because guess what? Hey, man, you got all your health. You're in better health than you've been in the last 5 years. Boom. Okay, he just uplifted you. Hey, man, year before that, we didn't have this completed A, B, C, and D. You got that now. Hey, man, your son just graduated with honors and got a high-end professional job in today's economy. Oh, man, guess what he's doing? He's building you up. So then he can say, hey, man, this is real. That's not. But this is what you can be on. And now you can take it in perspective and you can look at it from a positive point of view. And see, most times when it's not delivered right, people look at it negatively all about, oh, man, you saying this, you saying that, man, you telling me I'm using you like a garbage can, or I'm trying to give you advice without you asking me for advice. And I know right now you're watching this Family Finance Friday with Nick Westbrooks and DJ the Money Coach, and you're saying, man, make it make sense, DJ. Well, here's the reality. You have to treat the stuff that we're talking to you about, the real, like a grocery store. You have to go into the grocery store, and if you only need pizza and Pop-Tarts for your children, and you know where the pizza and the Pop-Tarts are, they're not at the front of the store. They are down the back, over to the right. But in the process of going through that, you're going to see magazines, you're going to see sandwiches, cake, this, that, and other, but it's not what you need. But you don't get offended by that because they got to serve everybody. So you go down, go over to the deep right, you see the frozen pizza, boom, you pop over there, you see the Pop-Tarts, you get that. What do I mean by that? I don't know exactly everything that you need, but I have an idea and experiences that what you may be going through, what you need to hear. So I am telling you a story to help find out what part of the grocery store you need to be in tonight. And when I get you in the right aisle, hey, grab that stuff off the shelf, put it in your basket, put a smile on your face, and roll to the hole. That's what it boils down to. Because sometimes this is the best way to relate to people to get them where they need to be. So in order to thrive in 2025, it's real simple. Number one, take inventory of the intangibles as well as the tangibles that God has blessed you with. That's number one. An emphasis on the intangibles, meaning, do I have family? that loves me. Number 2, am I at peace with myself? Number 3, do I love myself? Number 4, am I better off mentally, spiritually, and physically than I was the year before? Now, on the tangible side, let me look at the physical assets that I have or have not that sustain my recurring expenses and my current lifestyle that I may be happy with or I need to improve. And just be honest with myself. And let me write those down. And then, like I said, let's not start, hey man, I got to make $2.5 million. That's a great goal. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you haven't made your first extra $1,000 a month, how about start there? Now let's say maybe you made your first $100,000 a month. How about the next goal be repeat that? And then the next step is sustain it. Because you may have made 4 or 5 months of $100,000 a month in your year, but then 6 of them was only $10,000. And 1 of them was only $5,000. Find the medium of the sustainable success and reel it back in and look at the things that you did right. Look at the things you can learn from and go back to the drawing board. And again, real basics, ladies and gentlemen, apply the 4x4. Number 1, discipline. Number 2, accountability. Number 3, plug into the proven system of success. Our system is the 7 spheres of money. Number 4, go to work. Then apply the second half of the 4x4, which is the 4 P's. Number 1, professionalism. Number 2, persistently pursue your plan. Number 3, perseverance, the ability to overcome to become. And number 4, performance. But in order to get the 4x4 locked up right, you got to do that basic thing when you get out of the bed, first and foremost. Make the bed. Victory number 1, to thrive. That's right. Let's put this up there on the screen for him, Nick, because this is the message. Number 1, the 5 victories to thrive attached to the 4x4 will guarantee you success if you do it consistently. So the first victory, when you get out of the bed, make the bed. That is a victory. It will put an internal smile on your face when you do it consistently. The first time you do it, it ain't gonna really mean much to you. The second time, but when you start doing it 4 or 5 times in a row and you don't have to think about it, and you look back and your bed is made up nice and tight, man, you're gonna feel good about it, especially if you're a messy person. The second victory is read a passage from the good book. For me, that's Proverbs. So the second victory to thrive, Nick, is read the Proverbs of the day. So today I read Proverbs 10, and that takes, ladies and gentlemen, about 5 to 7 minutes. So that's the second victory. Read a passage from Proverbs. Okay? So that's your second victory before your day really gets started. So after you've read the Proverbs, you don't rush through it. You take 5-7 minutes, let it seep in, comprehend it. Now you're doing application, and the third victory of the day is prayer. You can call it meditation or prayer. I'm going to call it prayer, but it has the same outcome as meditation. So now I'm going to pray or meditate on the word, which is the applicable process to the third victory of the day. So I got up, I made the bed, my first victory of the day to thrive. The second thing I did, I read the Proverbs of the day to thrive. The third thing I did, I got into the application process and I prayed and I meditated on the word. That's the third victory to thrive. Now I get up and I do the workout. The fourth one is the physical application of thriving to begin my day. So mine is 15 minutes of hard workout. Now, my workout consists of hard calisthenics with a little bit of weight lifting. Make yours whatever you want. But the most important part about this physical application, that it is intense. It's not, let me do, 10 of these and break for 2 minutes. No, if I'm doing dumbbells or kettlebells, man, I'm doing 20 of them, 3 sets, and I'm doing that in like 2 minutes. So mine actually incorporates this. I break down and I do 60 push-ups. I do 40. I take a 20-second break, boom, knock out 20. Most of the times I do 3 sets of 40. But if I'm feeling not really, I'm going to do no less than 60 in 60 seconds, 90 seconds max, with about a 15-second break in between. Then I turn around and I do reverse dips. And I do 60 of those. But I have my timer on 15 minutes. So I get in, I knock it out. So at the 15 minutes, I've run through my workout and I'm pushing myself intense. I'm not relaxing. I'm hitting it. I'm maxing. Okay. So now I finished that. I am empowered. I am strengthened. So I got the mind tight and I got the body tight. So that's the fourth victory. Now I got to put some fuel in the tank. So the fifth victory is I put the proper, healthy foods into my engine. And for me, that's a fresh smoothie with fresh fruits, strawberries, blueberries, bananas, mangoes. I break myself off 2 strips of turkey bacon in the broiler, not fried. I either have myself 2 eggs or a bowl of oatmeal with some blueberries and a bottle of water, and I sit back, I eat that, I don't rush through it. I'm thinking about what I got to do next, which is get into my work day. I'm looking at my smartphone and I'm checking off. Now I got 5 victories and I feel like I can take down the world. So now I'm in thrive mode and I come up to the office, which you see me in now, and then I'm knocking out my to-dos. And before I do that, what I missed, I actually report my results from my workout on our health thread with the team. I take my blood pressure and I take my weight and I screenshot that and my regimen of what I accomplished over to the thread with the team health and encouragement, uplifting for the team. And we do the same thing across the board. And then I get into my physical work. So now for my Friday, I've already prepped for today's meeting to do this broadcast with Nick. And we talk about briefly what we're going to talk about and we get to it. And in the process, I know, hey, I got reading to do. I got courses to do. I got emails to send out. I got calls to make to generate revenues because I know that the team is doing the same thing. And in order for me to hold them accountable inside the 4x4, which is what comes next in the part of the work, we now institute the 4x4 discipline. That was established by getting up, making the bed. That was the first step to discipline. The second thing, accountability. How do I manifest accountability? Doing that and reporting to the team. I plug into the system. What is the system for us? The 7 spheres of money. So for us, as the founder and the CEO, I'm making sure I'm getting out and touching bases with conferences, touching bases with corporations, touching bases with influencers so that I can get on their platforms and talk to them about collaborations. And then go to work, baby. If I got to do 15 calls, 20 calls, 50 emails, 10, 15 DMs, that's what I'm doing consistently. So now, Monday through Friday, now I can put the numbers on the board and say, okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay, Monday, boom, made some money. Tuesday, didn't make any money. But did I do everything I was supposed to? Yes, we did. Wednesday, did everything we did? Oh, boom, manifest a couple of $1,000. Thursday, did we do everything? Yep, manifest a couple of $1,000. Friday, manifest almost $3,000. You see how that works? So now, what you're saying too is in between those 5 days, did I have any down moments? Yes, I did. Guess what I did? I hopped on the phone. I phoned a friend. I said, hey, you got a couple of minutes. Can I yell at you for a minute? Talk to you. Sure. Boom. Got lifted up. And guess what? Helped me. Now, today, I was the friend of help where I received the phone call. Hey, what you doing? Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm taking a little break from work. How can I help you out? Boom. Didn't want to talk. The person wanted to talk, but they made the phone call. I said, no, I'm gonna get no, you called me for a reason. Hey, just talk to me. Just talk to me. A couple of days ago, I was the same way. Didn't want to make the phone call. Here's the key thing when you do the 4x4. Them 4 P's are so important, ladies and gentlemen. Because see, the second P is where that down moment comes, because that intestinal fortitude and the persistence and that perseverance, because you're thinking that you're the only one in the world having a down moment. You're thinking that you're the only one in the world didn't hit those audacious goals that you had. Or conversely, you're thinking you're the only one in the world that's so special, you made $1 million last year. You sold a bajillion products last week, and only you can do it. But here's what's going to give you longevity and sustainability and give you the epitome of plenty of money and peace of mind is that what you produce, everybody on your team can produce the exact same thing because they're plugged into the same system. So there's no superstars. There are super systems. So from professionalism, the key to persistently, but the perseverance piece is where a lot of times the men separate themselves from the boys and the women separate themselves from the girls. But the key thing is humility, ladies and gentlemen, because in that perseverance aspect, usually you don't overcome by yourself. Now, some of you have intestinal fortitude that you just got that grit and a umpsfa and the husfa that you can do it, but you can only do that so many times. So it's nothing wrong with reaching out to a friend, a peer, a compatriot. And if you happen to be the leader of the organization, don't get caught up to thinking that, hey, man, if I show some human side of myself, that they're going to think less of me. They're actually going to think more of you because you're going to be relatable. And you're going to show humility, and you're going to show vulnerability that's good vulnerability, not weakness, but actually strength. And that's going to make them love you more and help you more. And you're going to have a better, stronger organization because of it. And then, last but not least, your team is going to, rally around you, and they're going to perform when you're not having your A game that day, because they know when you didn't have your A game, you still sent the accountability report. And even though you may have made 20, 30, 40 calls and got zeros, they put in their 20, 40 and got 10s. And collectively, we all hit 100%. on the bullseye. Because what Robert Kiyosaki says is this, ladies and gentlemen. He says, if you have a vase and it has 100 marbles in it, and there's only one blue marble, and that one blue marble represents $1 million, the way you are taught in a rote educational platform is that you have to be perfect. But in real business, you just have to get to the blue marble morally, ethically, correctly. So I can strike out 999 times. And as long as I don't quit, on the 1000th time I find that blue marble, I produce $1 million in business and $1 million of success. And if we come together as a team and we're all taking our swings, so if I got 5 people on my team, we all only have to take 200 swings apiece to get to that $1 million marble. And that's how you create a sustainable, thriving, victorious business in 2025. It's not complicated. It's actually simple, but it's not easy. So I hope that today, when you came into our grocery store, Family Finance Friday, with Nick Westbrooks and DJ the Money Coach, you found the right aisle because you looked long enough and you asked for the proper directions. We were able to get you that frozen pizza and those Pop-Tarts of your choice. And you didn't take it personally when we were at the register and we asked permission to lead you down the right aisle to get the right rewards. So I hope you enjoyed this time with us on Family Finance Friday. And I sincerely know, through my humble but expert opinion, that if you utilize the 5 victories to start your day, to thrive, and you plug them into the 4x4 system, you will win tremendously and thrive unlimitless in 2025. So let's thrive in 2025, and you will then be the epitome and the embodiment of plenty of money and peace of mind, and nobody can stop your victory but you. So on behalf of Nick Westbrooks, I'm DJ the Money Coach. You've been watching Family Finance Friday on 1/10/2025, and all we ask you to do is to like, subscribe, and share these 5 victories to thrive in 2025. So have a great rest of your Friday. Thanks for letting us into your home. And God, we pray that the people on the West Coast are going to be safe and sound, and you reinvigorate them. And whatever was taken down, you make it bigger and better when you bring it back up. God bless, and we'll see you next time on Family Finance Friday with Nick Westbrooks and DJ the Money Coach. Black Friday, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to my beautiful luxury residential resort in Zanzibar, Tanzania, in the beautiful Indian Ocean. 7 days, 6 nights, all transportation, pamper chef, festivities, excursions, beautiful sun, warm water beaches, and all you have to do is hit me with $100. That's right, 3 easy payments of $100. Get you a bucket list trip in paradise with DJ the Money Coach. First 24 only. I'll see you in paradise.
best things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
The beach, fresh food, the people. I mean, I could write a short book about what I experienced here.
Eating the best fruit, vegetables, seafood.
Met some amazing people. We had an amazing time.
I like the tours that we went on, the Spice Island, and the Paradise Island.
The snorkeling. That was an exclusive experience. Huge sandbar. That was set up like our private dining area. The sand is soft, the water's warm.
Unadulterated, pure, simple, Zanzibar.
So the opportunity in Zanzibar is very, 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 very clear. There is nothing but economical growth and development happening right now.
Zanzibar, just because it's an up and coming area.
You get here and you see the opportunity.
And then you come on the African side, you get to see even a different type of togetherness.
Being able to ask questions, and DJ was just like, hey, ask me anything.
Plenty of money and peace of mind.